CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by Overlook Maps. If you need help remembering the amazing cafe you discovered last summer or that perfect hiking spot you've heard about, Overlook Maps is for you. With the Overlook mobile app, you can create personalized lists of places that you've been to and want to go, and always see everything on a handy-dandy map. Share your favorite hidden gems with friends and family, or keep your secret spots private just for you. The best part, no ads cluttering your lists, and no one selling your interests or your travel data. Download the free app at overlookmaps.com and check out overlookmaps.com/Pittsburgh to see a few CityCast lists on a map and in your pocket. Overlookmaps.com. Collect and share the places that matter to you. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, one of the biggest and, in my humble opinion, best state parks near us here in Pittsburgh, Ohiopyle State Park, just got rated one of the best in the nation for affordability, for wow factor, and as a quote-unquote hidden gem. I'm glad y'all found it. And it's great that we've got these beautiful scenic areas, because you may have also noticed one other thing. Pennsylvania does not have any national parks. Of the millions of acres of parkland in our cities and across the state, none of them are part of that one big system. So today we are taking our Nebby questions about why to a brand new office in the Commonwealth, and talking about why all this nature is also pretty important to our state's bottom line. It's Wednesday, August 27th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. So Nathan, you are the very first person to ever hold your job. It sounds like you get to play all day. How do you actually explain what you do?
That is correct. Nathan Rigner, Director of Outdoor Recreation for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The best way I can explain my job and our work in Pennsylvania's Office of Outdoor Recreation is to say that we typically think of outdoor recreation as a good time outside with our friends and family, maybe on a trail, maybe in a state park. Outdoor recreation is that. It is also an industry in the Commonwealth, $19 billion, 2% of our gross domestic productivity, 168,000 jobs. And it is a strategic tool for economic development. And that's the lane that we in the Office of Outdoor Recreation were created to build out, to grow Pennsylvania's outdoor recreation industry and to strengthen our outdoor economy in the Commonwealth.
That sounds a little less playful, but I'll give it to you. How many state parks does Pennsylvania have? Like, is that kind of what you consider like your purview to some extent?
Oh, absolutely not.
Really? Like, how big is it?
Yeah, really. So my purview and our purview in the Office of Outdoor Recreation is the Commonwealth. So
literally anything outside.
If it ain't working, it ain't inside. And importantly, drives forward our outdoor industry and helps our communities develop their economies based on outdoor recreation, we are here to help.
Okay.
Now, we're located within the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources here in Pennsylvania and the Bureau of State Parks with our 121 state parks, and our Bureau of Forestry with our 2.2 million acres of state forests. We're all here in the same agency. But our office was created to drive progress in this new area for us that we see as Commonwealth government, growing our outdoor industry and delivering outdoor recreation as an economic driver.
Talk about that economic piece. Like, what does an outdoor space mean to the Commonwealth as it relates to our economy? Like, connect the dots for me there.
Yeah. So our outdoor economy is made up of three parts. The first part I've alluded to, our outdoor industry. And these are all of the businesses in Pennsylvania that make their money based on outdoor recreation. So we're talking about gear manufacturers and retailers, designers and distributors. We're talking about people who provide outdoor recreation experiences, ski areas, campgrounds, events. Every ultramarathon, mountain bike race, bass tournament in Pennsylvania is part of our outdoor economy. Food, beverage, and lodging, catering to outdoor recreationists or in outdoor recreation destinations. And then there's a whole kind of behind the scenes professional services sector connected to outdoor recreation. Planners, designers, and builders of infrastructure. We have consultants, analysts, we have attorneys and accountants, we have physicians that are working in or for outdoor recreations. There's an entire creative content component of things, whether that be digital creatives or guidebook writers, map makers, photographers, and videographers. This is our outdoor industry. So we have our outdoor industry as one component of the economy. The second component of our outdoor economy is the role that outdoor recreation plays in broad-based community and economic development. And this is largely, the mechanism here is largely through youth retention and workforce attraction.
You mean like youth retention, like keeping, like if you grow up in Pennsylvania, you learn to love it, like you stay here then, you stay.
You're darn right. And then there's the third component of our outdoor economy is a cost savings component. So if our industry generates money, if our contribution to economic development generates money, we know that the green infrastructure that comes along with outdoor recreation saves us money over gray infrastructure. When it comes to stormwater management, temperature regulation, air and water quality, we know that the active lifestyles associated with outdoor recreation are good for our physical health, reducing chronic disease rates, promoting strong muscles and bones. We know that it's good for our mental health. And collectively as a community, as we face increasing rates of drug addiction, of suicide, of death of despair, and social disconnection, outdoor recreation spaces and the activities we do there together really unite us in a very unique way. So we both generate value for the economy and we save on what are some of the highest cost elements of our society through outdoor recreation.
Okay, this is sounding like a bigger and bigger job. Let's talk about that visitor experience. What do you get when you walk into a Pennsylvania state park versus something like a national park? Because I'm going to use a Pittsburgh example, Point State Park. I mean, I know in terms of scale that is tiny compared to something like Cuyahoga in Ohio or New River Gorge in West Virginia because, gosh, those are just such big parks, big experiences. But walk me through it on principle, one versus the other.
Well, the first thing you're going to notice is that our state parks are free. They're free to anybody who wants to visit, whether you're from Pennsylvania, from a different state, from any other country in the world. You are welcome in every Pennsylvania state park, and you're welcome gratis. And that is super unique. Yes, many units of the National Park System, certainly national forests, are free to enter. Many of them have fees associated with them, however. So that's one key difference. This is maybe an observation less from my time as director of outdoor recreation in Pennsylvania and more from my professional career. A lot of visitors don't notice any difference between a state park and a national park, a state park and a state forest, etc. Some of these administrative distinctions are substantially invisible to, I don't want to say the uninformed visitor, but more of the generalist or non-specialist. Casual is a great word there. Yeah, although we take our state parks very seriously.
Of course, obviously. Fun is serious. I mean, the thing that I think of, honestly, is like the biggest difference in my brain is it just doesn't make the fancy lists or those like maps that you can check off by scratching it off with like a penny or something. Like the National Park Service has like a great built-in PR engine, which is wonderful. But it always occurred to me that like all of our states could probably do that too, right?
Well, and here I think we're back to that difference in scale. our dear colleagues over at the Pennsylvania Parks and Forests Foundation. You can get your state park and state forest passport through them. And when you enter the visitor center of any state park, collect your stamp. You can get the color-in map on the wall of state parks that you've visited.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. I mean, swag helps, right?
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, though, like, why doesn't Pennsylvania have any national parks? Because we do have all these historic sites, memorials, battlefields, trails. Like, we have a lot of stuff. We just never got that park distinction.
Yeah. I've got a list here in front of me. I can't count it on the fly. Of the 433 units of the National Park System, we got 24 of them here in Pennsylvania, and they do carry
and I think
many.
5 here in Western Pennsylvania. There's there's Flight 93 Memorial. There's Fort Necessity. There's a bunch.
Yeah, exactly right. The Allegheny Portage Railroad, etc. The short answer to why we have no national parks in Pennsylvania is that Congress has not enacted any legislation creating any national parks here in Pennsylvania. You know, the national park movement began, some might say, in 1872 with the establishment of Yellowstone National Park. National Park Service was established in 1906. And if we trace the history of the national park movement, early on, there was a phase of creating the Grand Western National Parks, the Grand Canyons and the Yosemites and the Mount Rainiers of the world. After that, there was a wave of natural history national parks, Hawaii volcanoes, preserving the geologic heritage, Everglades, preserving the biological heritage of southern Florida. After that, we see a wave of, quite frankly, aggregation of lands held by other entities. Lands held by the Department of Defense were transferred to the Department of Interior, and these became our national battlefields and our national military parks.
Yeah.
And then in the 70s and 80s, there was a wave of national recreation areas that were created. And the point of those national recreation areas was to bring the parks to the people. We understood that many of our largest national parks were quite distant from population centers. And this is at the time of the Great Society. We as a country wanted to bring parks to people. And here in Pennsylvania, the fine example of that is Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, within spitting distance of Philadelphia, New York City, Lehigh Valley, etc.
That's interesting to hear kind of that history. Like, I think I'm reading between the lines that, like, Pennsylvania was we were already here. We were already old. We were already pretty well established. So, like, we didn't have a lot of that big open natural land to turn into this thing. Like, it wasn't the trend. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, the social political circumstances of history. Yeah, and from my desk and the way I think about it, I like to focus on all of the wonderful assets that we do have,
of course,
and all of the great things that we're doing with them. I think there's a lot more progress there than talking about what we don't have.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Family House. Get ready, Pittsburgh, because their 42nd annual Family House Polo Match is coming our way on Saturday, September 6th at Heartwood Acres. It's presented by F&B, and it's an all-day event with a little something for everyone. So a professional polo match, not a thing you get to see all that often here in Pittsburgh, a vintage car show by the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, live music, food trucks, tailgating, a silent auction, kids activities. By the way, kids under 12 get in for free, and so much more. Come out and support a great cause while enjoying a truly special day. All the proceeds benefit Family House, which is a nonprofit here in our region, providing safe, affordable lodging for patients and caregivers traveling to Pittsburgh for medical care. Do not miss it, September 6th at Heartwood Acres. Tickets and more information are at familyhouse.org/polo. We'll see ya on the field.
Today's show is brought to you by the Frick Pittsburgh and this magical exhibition that's on view in their greenhouse right now. It's called Catching Sunbeams from the Porch Swing of Wisteria Castle, and I can personally attest it is exactly as whimsical as it sounds. The greenhouse at Frick is already pretty special. It's this beautiful, peaceful space that you can enter totally for free, kind of a hidden oasis right in the city. But this exhibition really takes it to another level. There are all of these incredible sculptures made out of metal mesh and wire that hang from the windows and ceilings. They look kind of cloud-like and dreamy. The artist who created them, Atticus Adams, says he was inspired by childhood memories of spending time with his grandma on her porch swing. It's so sweet. The exhibition is on display through October 26th, and I highly recommend checking it out. Step into joy and the Frick Greenhouse.
Today's show is sponsored by TurboTenant. Managing a property here in Pittsburgh is not exactly simple. There can be a lot to keep track of, whether you've got a duplex in Squirrel Hill or a few row houses in the South Side. TurboTenant can make it easier. It's free, it's online, and it handles everything from listings to leases to rent collection without the usual stress. So no matter where you are in the rental process, say just listing and looking for new tenants, or years into managing multiple properties, TurboTenant says they can help you get high-interest leads, screen those applicants, create their leases, and collect rent all in one place. And again, all totally free. More than 800,000 landlords already use TurboTenant. It takes 10 minutes to make and publish a new listing. Give it a try and get started today at turbotenant.com. That's turbotenant.com. Super simple, super useful. Well, let's talk about the amazing assets that we do have here in Pennsylvania. What are your favorite state park areas and what do you love about them?
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, of course, that this is for a Pittsburgh listener. So,
you see me
what would we love?
Up at the map on my wall. Okay.
You have multiple maps on your wall. You have, is it a snowboard and skis back there? Your office looks fun.
I'm very fortunate. So thinking about Pittsburgh, everything from Point to the Laurel Highlands, Point State Park, what a great front yard for the city of Pittsburgh.
We have the prettiest front door. We really do. When the fountain's on, not helping me out right now, but.
Absolutely. And those views at night, looking across the river, seeing the bridges lit up along each river. And we can drive just a heavy hour away and be in the Laurel Highlands along the Laurel Ridge. Laurel Ridge State Park encompasses the majority of the 70-plus mile long Laurel Highlands hiking trail, a fantastic long distance hiking opportunity. And I say fantastic for two reasons. One, for that amount of mileage, the hills are minimal. You get up onto that ridge and you can just cruise it day after day without having to drop down any significant gaps.
You're speaking our language.
Yeah,
keep going.
Those of us hiking here in eastern Pennsylvania on the AT would love that kind of elevational stability. Also, that Laurel Highlands hiking trail has some of the most charming shelters, each with a stone fireplace and all-you-can-eat firewood provided by Bureau of State Parks. They're for you to use.
I've never heard anyone refer to firewood as all you can eat, and I'm never going to say anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. That trail is anchored at the southern end by Ohiopyle National Park. Look at me.
Look, I mean, now I know what you're really thinking.
By Ohiopyle State Park. Ohiopyle State Park has historic and famous whitewater opportunities on the lower Youghiogheny River. We've got rock climbing in that national park. Come on, Megan. We've got rock climbing in that state park.
If we ever need to know about candidates for national parks, we're just going to call it Nathan.
We got the Great Allegheny Passage. I mean, this not a state park. It does run through Pennsylvania state parks, but the Great Allegheny Passage running from Pittsburgh down to the C&O Canal in Cumberland, Maryland, then you can hop on C&O and ride all the way to Washington, D.C. This has become a globally significant bike touring trail in southwest Pennsylvania. And we can look in the other directions to Raccoon Creek State Park, to McConnell's Mill, another one of our high adventure parks with both climbing and whitewater rafting.
And that cute little covered bridge.
Yep. On up to Moraine, extensive lake, fishing, boating, camping opportunities. We got a lot in southwest Pennsylvania.
What about some that you argue would be worth the drive, worth the train ride for Pittsburghers to check out closer to your neck of the woods over there in Harrisburg?
Tuscarora State Forest, one of our state forests, one of our less used state forests. It has the steepest mountains in Pennsylvania that I've been able to find. These things are like walls. They rear directly up from agricultural valleys on these tall, stony ridges. So if you're a trail runner and want to do some hill workouts, get thee to the Tuscarora State Forest. If you head up northeast, you'll be in what they call the big woods of north central Pennsylvania. This is the Pennsylvania Wilds, where we have a number of our state forest hiking trails. So our state forest hiking trails, they're a category of hiking trail that are formally designated here within DCNR that provide mid to long distance hiking opportunities.
What is mid? What is long?
40 miles. So in this case, we're talking 40 to 300 or 400 miles.
Whoa. Okay.
And so, an avid hiker, somebody who's fit, a trail runner, somebody like this can chip off a 40-mile trail in a weekend, piece of cake. You certainly would be able to spend weeks on the Mid-State Trail or the Tuscarora Trail, having kind of a drop out and spend some time in the wilderness experience, and everything in between. And, sometimes people, 400-mile trail, I couldn't possibly do it. I say give yourself 10 years.
Yeah. I think that's like kind of the fun thing, right? Like, I feel like people think of these as like one big thing to overcome when actually you can take them at whatever pace you want and like just do a little bit at a time.
Yep. And in doing so, over those years, chipping away 3-4 weekends a year, you're going to get such an intimate experience of Pennsylvania, of our landscapes, of all the little towns and villages along the way. And you're going to get to see the place throughout the seasons and see its face change.
I love that. Well, before we go, is there anywhere else that you would recommend? It could be anywhere you want, any type of trip, dealer's choice.
Presque Isle up on Lake Erie is remarkable. It's the first place I saw the sunset over water, was watching a sunset over Lake Erie. You can't see the other side. It is an inland sea. And you being from Southwest Pennsylvania and from the Appalachian coal regions, there's a lot of fealty, a lot of family-like familiarity with Appalachian Ohio, Western Maryland, northern West Virginia. And so making a visit out to the Laurel Highlands to Ohiopyle State Park, and then heading down to West Virginia to the Canaan Valley and the Monongahela National Forest, and then over to Athens, Ohio, to the Wayne National Forest and the Bailey Trails, and then pick up Rocky Gap State Park or Deep Creek Lake in Western Maryland. And in that set of visits, you will have seen a couple of sides of this Appalachian region that Pittsburgh really is. Pittsburgh is the urban epicenter for this region. You're the largest city, you're the transportation hub in terms of airports. And so basing out of Pittsburgh and doing that 360-degree around, that'll be a good familiarization tour.
What is your pitch, I guess? Because like while we're waxing poetic here about nature, like for, a city dweller that listens to this and maybe like just doesn't take advantage of this stuff, it's like not in their radar. Why do you think it's worth getting out to some of these spaces, these free spaces here so close to us?
Fishing is not about catching fish. Hiking is not about one foot in front of the other. Camping is not about sleeping on the cold, hard ground. These experiences, these activities we participate in, they generate good stuff for us. Challenge and accomplishment, quality time with friends and family, learning and discovery, adventure, escape from daily life, being a member of a community of outdoor recreationists. That's what outdoor recreation does for us.
And what about you? What does it do for you? And because I'm especially curious, given all that land and this effort to talk about it, to cheerlead it, really. And I think you're doing a great job. Do you get a chance to actually get out and experience it? Maybe at all, but like also as often as you want to?
Well, not as often as I want to, of course.
Because you are indoors. You are indoors right now as we speak.
I am indoors. I am at my computer. So yes, number one, it is important for our work to have like a comprehensive understanding of everything going on out there. That's our tools in the Office of Outdoor Recreation are knowledge, relationships, and connections and information. That's what we work with. And so it's important for us to know what's happening out there on the ground. There's that. Now, Nathan Rigner, on my personal, what outdoor recreation does for me as a human, it lets me burn off my excess energy that I can't burn off when I'm sitting at my computer, sitting in a fluorescent air-conditioned office. It allows me to have a sense of expansiveness. One of the most intriguing things in the world for me is a corner on a trail. What's on the other side? I have no idea. And there's only one way to find out. Outdoor recreation connects me to community. I tell you, I'll give you a real personal example here. While I was born and grew up in Pennsylvania, I moved out of the state after college. And when I moved back to Pennsylvania, I started going deer hunting with my father. And through those experiences of going to deer camp together, of hunting together, my father and I found a new relationship with each other as adults that I don't think I'd have found otherwise. And I can tell you that I have zero fear that, when the day comes and my father's no longer with us, I have no fear that I won't have said the things to him that I want to say and that I won't have spent time with him that I want to spend, because we accomplished that on those hunting trips together.
Nathan, if your mama does hear this, she's going to start crying. Like, as a mama myself, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah, it's powerful. This is powerful stuff.
Yeah. Nathan, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope I see you out in the woods someday.
Me too. Or on the river.
Or on the river. You're right. That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you need some more outdoor inspiration, we have so many guides, so many fun facts, so many articles on our website. That's pittsburgh.citycast.fm. And we share all kinds of stuff like this in our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter too. So make sure you're signed up. That is fresh in your inbox every day at 6 a.m. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. We'll talk to you soon. I heard something once, and I wanted to know from your perspective if it's real or not. Someone once told me that because our state parks, state systems are free, that they have to get creative about how we attempt to calculate attendance, like how many people come through. And one way to do that was by how much toilet paper we order for the restrooms. Is that real?
We calculate visitation in our state park system in Pennsylvania through a series of counters, primarily car counters on roadways. And then that data gets run through various correction factors and algorithms to generate estimates of state park visitation. That being said, one of the classic indicators of visitor volume is how frequently you have to pump out the outhouses.
So maybe not the primary method, but a way to judge.
Yep.
Excellent.
It is an undeniable indicator.